Hello there. Um, yeah, I just wanted to wrap up this whole superpower thing. Well, it's been a long journey, I'm sort of back to square one, just where I started, As a young man, before all this problem started, I was just at uni, and um, life was just a mystery. We weren't trying to work it out. We were just trying to get to uni, get home, get our work done, our school done. Um, life was simple. And superpower is more about sort of thinking about the future, because I had sort of an injection at that rave party of knowledge or interest into the spiritual world, because it wasn't so much the drug. The drug just lowered my defenses to it sort of lowered my barriers to other people coming into my space, and that's when this evil sort of come into my space, sort of. There's other people, this other person sort of questioning or asking all these questions, because he was flipping out, and I sort of had no defense. I couldn't fend him off, I just sort of was like, oh, I don't know, what's going on, what's wrong? And he sort of said, we're dead, and it shot me into sort of the afterlife for a moment, then back again. It's like I saw into the spirit world, realised I was a spiritual being underneath all this, and then sort of was shot back again, because I saw my chakra burn out, with fear. It was sort of inverted the other way, It's like imagine a spiral doing this, all of a sudden it went whoop, back the other way like that. Sort of like, hang on a minute, we've got to go back, and, there's something not right here. So it's kind of like I got shot to the end of my life all of a sudden, and in a way, I went all the way there in that moment in this stomach chakra. And then, which I think it's probably got to do with the fact maybe my dick, when I was born, was snipped a bit at the end. They made the knob fold back. I think that's what it might have been. Because if you look at that new movie Superman, the little boy there, the little Superman baby, doesn't have his knob snipped, and he looks like a normal dick. Whereas when you get your knob snipped, they just cut the little tip off, and it makes it roll back. I'm not sure why they. I'm pretty sure they do it. There's no, I don't have proof, but seeing that baby in that movie without it snipped, and it makes it hurt when you're a young boy, and you want to rub it because it's sore, and it makes you sort of want to fold the skin back on it and everything. It makes you play around with your dick. It's not healthy. But I think it's to stop people having babies. That's what I think it might be. It's sort of circumcision, stop kids having babies, and some even snip it, and then they get the skin that you roll back off the knob. They cut that back as well. They cut it all off the knob, and I don't know. It's to stop people even feeling any sensation and all that. But anyway, I think that could be why I went through this, because of that circumcision. So don't circumcise babies. Leave our dicks alone. That said, I had to come full circle. I had to delve into all that life that I was going to lose, meeting my wife, having my kids, while this happened, who I am. I had to delve right into who I was right through eternity, who I have been right through eternity. It's almost like I had to face off with death and then come back renewed, and then so it's almost like I died and was reborn, but then I've come back to life again. And I never really died, and I never really was. It's like nothing happened, It's like back to the start, and it's like I got hurt, then I healed up, It's like nothing really happened. It was just pain, and then it healed up, and you had to go all this through this process in your mind, in your life, because you're living your life while this is happening. You have to try and adjust to a chronic situation where you're trying to adjust to your life still happening, and then all these people leaving you and finding new people, and anyway, so I've come full circle, and I'm settled down here now in this unit. Look at all my stuff. I've got some new speakers behind me here. I've got new speakers. Well, they're just second hand. They cost me like next to nothing. I bought a Super 8 movie projector so I can watch my Super 8 movies. And Super 8, for anyone who doesn't know, is 8mm film. It's like a photography film. You can get it processed and watch it on the movie reels that turn around. Right? So that's it down the bottom there. I don't know if you can see it. On top of my woofer, like a proper movie projector. So I did used to have one just like it, and I also had a 16mm one as well. But I gave them away to a little boy in Wangaratta. So I didn't want to cart him around, you know. It was boxes and boxes of movies and things with it. Just the old movies mostly. Probably the newest one might have been War of the Worlds or whatever it was, Clash of the Titans or something. And I had some really old ones which were really dead boring. There's a few other good ones. I think the Raquel Welch movie, that 600-foot woman or whatever it's called. But Superpower is more about who I might be in the future sometime. Maybe after this life I might come back and be some kind of greater being, you know. It's about probably realising your potential too suddenly and then coming back to normal, and like you realise it's probably just part of some evolutionary process that's happening, and you know, you're just a part of that. But really, I think you should find it out. Getting married, having your children, having a good life, doing a lot of good things for the world, not just sitting around worrying about stuff, you know. I have been doing a lot of good things probably online and sort of using computers and out and about, you know, helping people a little bit. I give a bit of money to people struggling, and I help people on the radio. I've done sort of community work in a way, helping my friends and that, sort of helping them recover and trying to recover from problems, and giving out a lot of ideas, you know, for nothing. I mean, I haven't been compensated for any of the knowledge I've passed on that has been lost, that I haven't been sort of compensated for either. So that's sad. But hopefully that will swing back around in my favour one day, all the stuff I've given out. But yeah, it's funny, you just come back to normal and life's just as it was, and I just have a bit of a fat tummy. I think as my body heals up completely, like the rest of me is good, but my feet are still cracked and sore from the whole experience and all the medications, and my stomach's swollen, and I haven't had a sex life, so, you know, that's all like that. And, not fully developed, and your face is all saggy. It should be just like, I can't even stretch my head that far. So this shouldn't all be saggy from worry. It should be nicely like this. Just not Asian. I'm not Asian, but well, maybe when I'm happy I am Asian. But I think if I was happy and had a good love life and everything, I'd probably look, strangely enough, and hadn't been circumcised, I'd look a lot like Elvis Presley. I think I would. I think it might be who I was. And for some reason, someone's snipped me dick. I've just got the same shaped head, but my features have sunken. I should be more. Maybe that's why people get facelifts, because they get their dick snipped. Why else would you get one? Old people don't get ugly, you know, it's just they get a bit old. Sorry for yawning. So yeah, it's funny how you come full circle. I think maybe next life I'll be Superman. I feel like it's sort of happening out there somewhere, but I'm sort of not awake to it, not aware of it. So this protective spirit over the earth watching on, sort of making sure things are working out for the best, you know, trying to guide the earth to a better future, you know. And sometimes it's, you know, justice, crime fighting, fairness. But most of the time it's just good, happy vibes. I just want to party and have fun. And, you know, I noticed when I went out for my family, I wanted to party, and get drunk and have fun and lift the mood, and most of them didn't want to. Because a lot of them don't drink. All the women in my family just about don't drink, and my niece and nephew are too young. But me and my dad and my brother-in-law, we have a bit of a drink, just a little bit. But the women don't drink, so. Well, my younger sister had to just give up the alcohol for a while, so as well. So she might end up having a bit of a drink again, but the other two don't like it. Yeah, it's just nice. Got the door open. It's cold, but I just like a bit of the cool air in. Cools down the fish tank. It's getting a bit hot. Like I've got the heater in it, but it's getting too hot in there. Like it's kind of about right in the middle of the green zone, which is a good zone. About 22, 23 degrees. I think it got up to about 24, which is getting a bit hot. But yeah, maybe I'll just unplug it. Just after the winter, I'll unplug it. I won't need it after the winter. Just during the cold months, just to give them a little bit of a boost. Anyway, they're looking healthy and happy, so that's the main thing. I fed them today, and they had enough food while I went away, and there was a little bit sort of left on the ground, sort of all looked like algae, but it was just where the food had all sort of broken down. Yeah, anyway. All right, that's 12 minutes. I'll see you later.